every Tuesday and every Thursday.
Hey,
Tap in.
is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank
And Christina
It's the
Carter.
hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank
And Christina
It's the
Carter.
hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick it.
Every Tuesday.
Everything is going
Every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
Every
Show. It's through
Tuesday.
the week, homie. The Roy
Every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap
call
in.
before we gotta
Tap
talk.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
Every
Show. Come on
Tuesday.
and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
Every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think?
What it do? Oh, they got me stuck. Hold up. Hold up. We got to bring this in. What it do? What it do? What it do? Man, it's our apologies, man. It's not wasn't on us. I always accept the blames, but all of our cameras, everything went off. We didn't know what's going on. I've been in since a quarter till. Then right when 12 o'clock hit, everything went off, and it's still doing us the same way. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Once again, we don't know what's going on. If anyone's tuning in, this is Roy Anthony, and we was coming live, and we always prep up to be coming in live at a quarter till, and all of a sudden, it just blinked out. Hey, what's up, Miss Uniqueness?
What's good? What's good? How you doing?
You know what? I tripped me out. Look here, they must on the powers to be on one's up. I've been on since I come on like 30 minutes till everything's set
Mhm.
up. Soon as I went to go live, camera and everything went out.
That's the devil. Devil did it.
Then I had to actually it wouldn't even open up the pages or anything. So I had to restart my laptop, right? Came
Mm-hmm.
on for a second and everything is just said, your camera's not linked and stuff and just threw me out. I was like, man.
Because
And
I
so
tried to get on and it said that the page does not exist.
and
I'm
then I looked up,
like,
I gave y'all the wrong thing. It was a V supposed to be in front of the four. I'm like, oh my God, right? And so
did
and
you
remember,
celebrate 420 yesterday?
no, and that was the
I'm about to
thing.
say, was it too much?
No, I didn't even kick it on it. Usually,
Me either.
I really didn't. It was a trip. Remember Tuesday when we got off and we said, for the next 48 hours, see if we can just show love and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was going swell until this morning. This morning, I get, I go to I look on my bank account, zero. Like what the world? State of California. I supposed to been took care of all my taxes, y'all. All my years back tax, everything. I wake up this morning and my whole account was zero. I couldn't. I was like, man, except for my IRA account. That's the only one thing. And
Mm-mm.
I was like, man, what the hell, And so I don't know what was going on. We got Blue Phoenix in the back. I don't know what was going on, but we was logged up in at if you're in the Midwest time, that's 11:30. I log always on 30 minutes. Soon as we went to go live, all the cameras went out. And I don't know, and my associate producer, Blue Phoenix, is on point. They was on point, our listeners and stuff. Once again, this is Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show, along with my beautiful co-star Christina Carter, Miss Uniqueness. Big Hank will be coming in a minute and stuff. How you doing, Miss Uniqueness?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing fine. I'm back at work again. Thank God I've been praying for a stream of income. So
Yes.
got my second day of work. I'm
Oh,
so
that's
blessed and proud that the client that I have, she was not responding to a lot of things with other people. So this is my second day, and now she's feeding herself. She's drinking her fluids and stuff on her
no
own.
word up.
Second day now, so I'm just saying God put people in places for a reason. So
Yeah. And
I'm
that's so
excited.
cool. And I'm constantly wanting people to understand our show is not based on, we used to have, like celebrity guests. If people want to come in, we specialize in having a conversation. This ain't me doing stand-up comedy. Sometimes we find something humorous, some intellectual drama, whatever. But this is not about Roy Anthony doing stand-up comedy or Big Hank. This is where we actually indulge in a conversation. Nope, I'm not trying to be where this is the Arsenio Hall show and everything. We felt that as the more we got on, me and Big Hank, the more we did this, we thought that it'd be more if we sit up there and um hold it for a second. Look who I got calling in on the phone while I'm in the middle of the podcast. It's my son. What's up with you, RDJ?
Oh, you're in the middle of the podcast. Look, it's good news.
What's
I
your
just got off probation. And they
oh,
said
okay.
my
Oh, okay. Well, I got you on worldwide, and everybody just heard you because I put you on speakerphone. This is my
Congratulations.
son, and he didn't know if he was gonna walk across the stage, so he's on the verge of graduating. But he had gotten in some trouble, and they was like, "Hey, we're gonna give you a chance. If your grades ain't good, you gonna be on probation." What you just say now, RDJ?
well, say now, world, how y'all doing? Well, I just said that I got off probation. You know, they sealed my record. So I don't gotta ever say I've been arrested or been to juvenile hall, nothing.
Okay, and are you graduating?
I'm graduating June 9th. You know me.
Hey, do I know you?
Yes, you do know me. I came from you. Come on now.
Oh, well, the whole world is listening, and so they like, "Hey."
You heard what he said.
The people understand now. My son to tell you, I've always been like this with him since newborn. I never been the dad was like, ooh, gagoo, gagoo, gagoo. I'll be like, I would talk to him intellectual. And then you can beat something into kids' heads, but unless they take it up on themselves, did I beat you to do the way you thinking, RDJ?
Did you say that?
Did I beat you to make you think the way you're thinking?
Nah, you got me learn for myself. You'll tell me, guide me a little bit, but you'll tell me, like, you got to learn for yourself sometimes. That's the best advice, though. Learn for yourself.
Okay. See, we're going to have him on the show. This is from the mouth of a teenager, 18. The world is big for them and they can get caught up, right? But hey son, I'm proud of you, but I'm gonna finish with my show and then we're gonna get back on that horn, okay?
All right,
I love you too.
being if you can't swim. All right, I'm out of here.
That's my son, y'all. He's 18. And sometimes teenagers is a trip. The more I try to work with I would show him that you don't need to listen to the streets. He have his little friends and everything, and so they got caught up with a scenario, especially in California, and which is one of the things I want to talk about. Fortunately, the police have stopped him and his friends. They found the gun. They could have tried him as an adult, but they gave him a chance to be stay as a juvenile. He had to finish up school. He had to get very good grades, which he got him up to A to B to graduate. Now when we last talked to the probation people, they was like, we don't know. It seemed like it may be a long time. Well, it was up on him, and I could preach until I'm blue in the face. But sometimes I feel like as a parent that I had to let children you have to let children find out. You can give them advice, tell which way to go, but I had to put it in God's hands and stuff. Miss Uniqueness, who you talking with? You talking on the side? She's at her job. She talking with her client and stuff. So if you see her talking on the side, she's doing two things at one time.
Never mind me, y'all. Like, I'm here. I'm selective here, and I can
Oh
hear.
yeah, I hear you. And so, and this is how it's supposed to be. We're having a talk. We're having a show of conversation. It's not a confrontation. It's a conversation. I've been trying to stay. Oh, I appreciate that, Miss Ramonda Robinson. She came in and said, "Great job. I'm proud of RDJ." That's my son. His name is Artemis Joseph Nathaniel Walters, but I call him RDJ, and so proud of him. And now he's want to be an architect. He got a whole life in front of him, but he had to see things. And as y'all know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I couldn't say, well, where did you get that from? Well, he got it honestly. And with me being through this type of scenarios, it was able for me to show him. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm very kind of sober because I was talking about our show about wokeism and this definition about wokeism and all this. And I want to bring this up, what wokeism is, and they're saying that it's an adjective meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination, and the originating African American vernacular English. They saying we made it up. That you've been awoke of the scenarios that goes on before us. I found the disturbing trend. Now, this is disturbing. Now, before I continue, I want to say once again, I'm Roy Anthony, representing the Woe Entertainment. Sometimes the powers to be don't like the things that we say. We try to educate. This is the Woe Entertainment, which is created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, and his beautiful wife Shelly, along with the co-creator Goose, and our associate producer Blue Phoenix, and our sponsor Matthew Brooks, along with one of our other social producers, Ethan. We have support with the BB Nation and all the surrounding cities. Like I tell people, those who live in Cameron, Missouri, and so if don't understand, Roy Anthony comes down through there because I deal with Richie and Redneck Pimp and Goose and Commander and anybody else. And we went to one of their lodges, and it's a trip, that I could come through. And I want to bring this up as well, that we're having a comedy show, and make sure this is the right one. The Dope Comedy Show, which is going to be MC by my man Tater, Damon Tater Spray. He's funny. Roy Anthony was making that guest appearance, along with Richard Matano, and headlined by Richard King. So y'all hear us talk about each other. So if you're in the Chillicothe, Missouri area, I've never been to Chillicothe, but I plan on being there this Saturday. We're going to have a very good time. But on today's show, I want to bring up something that's very, very disturbing to me. Now, as you know, the Woe Entertainment was created to bring awareness to the suicides that our veterans commit, and which should be ashamed. They're suffering from the situations that they have been involved in and seen over there, when you got murder, and killing and death and explosions. You come back, and sometimes you facing the same scenarios, and you question it, and depression can set in. And this is what our podcast was about, was to bring conversations. All military, if you're a human, it affects you in some way or another. Now, y'all hear me on my show, and I talk about the police. And when I talked about the wokeism and the CRT, which is critical race thinking, we cannot, and I will not, let some subjects die. We have been feeling sympathy for, like, the Ukrainian people who has been in war with Russia. And I was reading this one part where the Russians had shot some bombs, and it killed 12 people, and had a couple of children, which is sad. And they exploited, like, how these Russian missiles shot these buildings and 12 people got killed and everything. That's a travesty. You would think that's a travesty. You sitting at home watching TV, and next thing you know, bombs is hitting, and babies is dying, and children is dying. And you would say that's a travesty, and our hearts pour out. Just like when we hear about the Commander, who's a co-star with Richie King on their show on Tuesday, he brought up the logistics, the numbers of suicides that's committed monthly by our veterans, and how many was done in a year of our veterans taking their lives. And then they had statistics about teenagers who was actually taking out a percentage of them committing suicide, and it's a travesty. I think it was almost 22 teenagers a month or something close like that, and and these people taking their lives. And when lives is being taken, especially in multitudes, that is, how can I say, like right now we're trying to push that Putin, the president of Russia, is committing war crimes because of the innocent people that's been getting killed, and the places that they're bombing that's supposed to be safe havens. So I was going to talk a little bit on humanitarian and stuff like that until I was sent an article by CBS. Actually, for real, some CBS and one of these other networks, they always send me some type of news clips or something. I seem like the more I've been doing this podcast, I get asked, shared news stuff um, to my emails. And so I want to bring this up. This was sent to me last night. And this was shocking to me. Let me share this with you. U.S. police have killed nearly 600 people in traffic stops since 2017, data shows. You're seeing the number. 600 people in traffic stops. Not robberies, not bank, traffic stops. 600 murders since 2017 for a traffic stop. Now, let me break down to you and how the years they put it down. Let me go down. They put all these ads in. I want to go down to where it shows you. Oh, okay. Here it is. I was passing it. There were 97 deadly traffics. Wait a minute. Let me go back to it. They keep trying to get me to go past my subject, and I'm not doing that. This is probably why they was giving me that. There were 97 deadly traffic stops in 2017, 114 in 2018, 117 in 2019, 119 in 2020. This is when we're going through the pandemic. 117 in 2021, and so far into this month of April, 25. Like the guy Lola, like Oya, his last name in Grand Rapids, they found out that he was shot in the back of his head and being stopped because of a mismatched license plate. 600 murders, shootings. These are deaths. 600 deaths from traffic stops. How do we explain this? I just seen on the news when Putin was looked at as being war crimes, and we got 600 people with stop for tickets, people that stop for wrong tags, people that stop with a broken tail light, people, and you end up losing your life. It's a travesty when you got ones that are sitting up here, police covered it up and telling their family members that they died in an accident. How do you explain traffic stops will cause someone to lose their lives? For one, I want to ask the police, who do you think you are stopping every time throughout the U.S. when you're doing a traffic stop? Who do you think you stopping? El Chapo? Someone robbed the bank and they running? Oh, they gonna just stop, tell you that the headlights out. Who do you think is stopping for traffic to where 600 people has been murdered in 2017. You would think that that is a civil war going on that you don't know about. I've been trying to fathom, I've been trying to rethink it. I've been trying to look at it from every obstacles, and I just don't understand. Once again, I don't say to defund the police. I feel that the police officers, before or you're given a gun to work in our society, that you should at least have a associate's arts degree in humanity, socialism, psychology. You have to have those classes that are prerequisites into becoming a police officer. 12 years it takes police, takes a lawyer to understand law. And they really don't know completely, so they know how to research it up, but they cross the bar to be able to understand with 12 years of college that they've had to study to become a lawyer, to where you give police officers 6 months of training with a gun and say this is your authority to be over the same laws that these lawyers took 12 years to know. Yet we're giving them to tell me that a life, which is no judge, there's not a judge on this earth is sentencing anybody for a traffic infraction to death. There's people on death row who is waiting for execution for years upon years for stuff that they actually did. But when an infraction is stopped, an infraction is causing someone a life, the judge does not ever, Miss Uniqueness, you've been to traffic court before, right? You've been to where you had to go to court for fixes, tickets, and all that, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
You've been in courts with other people facing traffic courts, right? Traffic
Mm,
court judge. In that traffic court, have you ever seen a judge sending somebody to death row?
no.
Not for no traffic ticket.
Mm-mm.
Driving suspended license and all that. They ain't getting death row. With that, why is there 600 deaths to basic traffic? So if you have to get off, your
Okay.
YouTube, understand how in the world, and I'm posing that for the rest of the minutes. How in the world do we accept 600 murders for infractions where the judge does not give you death row for traffic infractions? 600 Americans have been killed for a traffic stop. Not for the hideous, we ain't even talking about the hideous crimes that happens in the jail cells. How someone can hang themselves from a cell all of a sudden and their hands is tied. How 600 traffic stops. There is not a lawyer that can Miss Uniqueness. Can you talk for a quick second? Can you talk for a quick second? I got to
I
step
can
out.
talk.
That's
So I don't know what I was supposed to be talking about, but I just know he's talking about traffic tickets that you get in the death row. I probably, if they did give you the death row and I knew about it and I had a traffic, I probably left too early. Cause I'd be scared that I get a death row because I would be going like 80 on the 55. And so I know that I haven't heard of that. That's ridiculous to have that many deaths. So I don't know how people could really explain it.
Look, we have no room for error. We're talking about traffic. Okay, just recently, I didn't want to show the video. Not saying that it's all blacks, but they're saying that a high percentage of these 600 murders of getting shot by the police.
That's crazy, dude. And is this what, do they have cameras on or what? Do they cut it
They
off?
supposed to have, and see
Body
what's
cam?
so trip is that with the cameras. See, I was always told that a leopard can't change their spots. These are we catch, cameras, data's collected and everything. This was going on way before 2017. The data just proves the points that people say. Now, I want to say this to anybody. I have never, ever, ever supported Black Lives Matter. I felt that it was another pawn that people use so they can enrich themselves, and that's exactly what they did. They played upon the sympathy of people. Miss Uniqueness, you said something Tuesday, and I've been really pondering that. There's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Empathy, and she explained it so well. Sympathy, you kind of robotic with it. My condolences when you heard someone die. Empathy is when you actually put yourself in that people's shoes. How is it that a Black Lives Matter and the families who you supposed to be bringing attention to haven't even got a house which I bought off of chanting because you bringing attention because of someone else's loved ones? That is, to me, hellbound situations. It was supposed to be bringing light that blacks was getting murdered for nothing, for minor stuff. If anything, we should have been saying, stop the killings, or we're about to go to civil war. How can you justify you killing 600 people and think that we supposed to like it? And then I don't want to hear from no church leaders that's telling me we shall overcome. You've been existing since 1905. Then why isn't that we don't have some opportunities and lawyers and everything paid for? Where we got to listen to Reverend Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump and it seems like them two is the ones where you bring they come to your attention. We didn't support no Black Lives Matter. We supported that Lives Matter. Well, we're tired of if America posts.
I think that when people put in groups like that, like Black Lives Matter and stuff, it tends to turn into a cult because you don't live by what you're saying.
Well, they played off of, they did what you said. They played the sympathy role to obtain funds.
Okay.
The mothers who actually lost their child, they wanted justice for their child. This organization made it seem like they was coming together with an organization to bring attention to it. And then when you take the funds, the charitable funds of people who is being empathetic about it, you're taking the money for your own self-purpose when there's nothing that didn't affect you or your child. But you exploited a nation of what? And then I seen some of the corporate headquarters. They got a little satellite place right in Lakewood, real small spot. They wouldn't even know people knew about it. Just a place where they can say we got an address. You collect monies. You have made enough money where you can pay for a $6.8 million mansion for who? taking funds, taking the sympathy and of American people, and then play that sympathy role on us, like to the rest of the world, when you're not. If that's the case, we should be taking some monies to redo these charters. Let's do an audit on these city commissioners that sits beside you in church and saying, yeah, and trying to get you to always look at the other man, because there's no way 600 murders will go on if we had stuff established, instead of listening to these people who was used to getting off the sidewalks and used to going in the back and just happy to get that. Now you get into your comfortable of your home and everything and forget about the fight. And as long as it don't affect your home, you want to tell everybody, well, I'm going to pray for you. I'm tired of that mess. It's the demons. And you got these preachers, you so worried about getting funds and stuff. Why isn't there no businesses? What have you been doing with the monies? Where's the storefronts? Where's the companies? All the sisters going to the Asian salons and get their hair and their nails done. Why the church ain't started no salons? Constantly trying to milk people out of the funds that they worked hard to get, while you sit up here trying to move the crowd with a speech that parallels to the same stuff over and over. I could tell anybody the 5 things they're going to preach on. David and Goliath. Samson. Going to preach on death of Christ, resurrection. Ain't talk about the words. Tired of this stuff. This stuff, and people say, "Oh, Roy, look here." I was always explained since I was a kid, insanity is doing the same stuff over and over and over again, and you're expecting the different results. It seems that they understand what insanity means when it comes to giving someone an habitual criminal act. That means that they saying to you, "Oh, you just can't do nothing but crime. So on this third one, we're about to give you 300 some years," knowing that the average person ain't living to 80, 90 years old. But you want to give these horrendous years out. And then here it is in our families. We'll accept it before we do that. I seen everybody protesting when we seen a national massacre of Mr. George Floyd. All the minorities and everybody got together, especially the blacks, all in different cities. But I seen some walking past and arrests being made right at their door because they want to look good by holding a big sign up over someone that they didn't know. Walking past an arrest and without questioning, scared of the police. That's tyranny. And when you scared of the police, that's considered the government. That's called tyranny. That means you fear the government. Liberation is when the government fears you. I've been saying I'm shocked over like my American citizens rather be divided because you listen to a crooked individual. It was reported to me that they found over 30,000 children in the underground of the Vatican. I'm like, what? For what? Was they keeping them from harm's danger, from the wars? Why would they have 30,000 children underneath there? Where's all the children that happened at the border here? I heard that there was a lot of parents and missing where their kids is, and we kind of take that down. Where's these kids at? Where's these babies' parents at? I seen this footage where they got all these kids. Where's their parents? Something's sick. Something ain't right. And I'm gonna keep going to the same. I'm gonna keep listening to the same leaders who just trying to wear colored socks and play a tambourine. What we doing? I don't want to hear about no 75-year anniversary of the existence of our church, and I'm still seeing my even my blacks. My mother always told me, before you try to change your neighborhood, you need to start off with your bedroom first. How you going to change the world when your bed is unmade? Work at home first. Work on yourself first. Look at it. Call something out if you know something's wrong. Don't be scared. If you know you right, don't be scared. It's a coward. That's why I really respect people like the Latino legend, um, Cesar Chavez. He said, I'd rather die standing up than to live the rest of my life on my knees. I only have one life. I don't know when this life is going to come or end for me. I'd rather be like them cowboy movies where I'm riding off into the sunset. Might be got a wound, but I fought for the good of things. Than to be getting killed for a traffic stop. Why are you ready to shoot somebody because of a traffic stop? Anybody. And then you cry about, oh, every time I look up, police are the only ones who kill someone and can go home with full pay while they're on administration leave, going home, eating and stuff. No humanity in your, especially when you're trying to hide it, when you planting a weapon and stuff, and you just go about your way and then talk about a code of conduct. You think that code of conduct is going to take you when that everlasting part of your life comes, when you have to face heaven or hell? I don't know. A lot of people don't know about George Wallace, Governor George Wallace. He was one of the biggest racist governors back there in the times, and he was getting his point across. Bringing the racial division of hatred within the capital of the state. I think it was state of Georgia or Alabama was one of them two. I had to look it up. It was Governor George Wallace. Well, Governor George Wallace was shot by one of his constituents, and it paralyzed him. But while he was going through the transition of being shot and seeing his life flash before his eyes, he had an epiphany, and he found out that God was real, and he asked for forgiveness. He actually went to the black church in front of everybody, asked for forgiveness, and guess what? They forgave him. In the history, we should forgive them too, and stuff, because there was two on the side of Christ. They was both considered thieves. One was oh, if you Christ, hit us off the cross. But the other one was humble about it. It's like, man, we deserve what we do. He said, only thing I'm going to ask you, Lord, if you remember me in your paradise. And God, he was like, hey, I remember you from this moment on. You will be in paradise with me. You know the story. I'm paraphrasing. The thing is that there is something happening. Now, I believe in God and Jesus. I am not that typical Christian, though. I am not the way the tambourine player and everything. I'm a true soldier of this. I have no fear of no man because he can only destroy this shell. I always fear only God because he can destroy my body and my soul. Am I always right? No, never. But I live to my convictions. I stated Tuesday, someone was asking me about this. If you and I, Christina, had the power, like it was 1956, but it was flips, I don't have it in my heart to see someone not walk on the sidewalk that I'm on, or they had to go on the back. If I was coming, he's like, hey man, I can't go on the front. What you mean you can't go on the front? Man, you come in the front with me, and I tell whoever, if they want my business, they got your business too. I don't want to take no one through that, because you know what? It seems so hateful. You know what I'm saying? I hatred is grew. Babies don't grow to hate. Christina came up with an example about the two little babies, the black and white babies getting off the train, running towards each other and stuff. Hate grows. If you plant a seed of hate, what do you expect to grow? What do you expect to grow? If you had a seed of hate, Miss Uniqueness, what's your imagination of what would grow from your seed of hate?
Um, it's gonna be hate, but it's gonna be worse. That hate word is gonna be pushed to the strength because you're only gonna get what you put in.
And a seed is small, right?
Mm.
It is never comes when a seed is planted, y'all. When the plant, whatever it comes in, is way bigger than the seed that was planted. Am I correct? The after results,
So
you
that's
know,
gonna be 7 folds of hatred that's going around out of that one little seed. So you got to
yes,
be careful what you planting because it's gonna come up.
a seed will grow a tree. Once you
Right.
get to come up with little and stuff, right, it becomes a tree. Now you got a big old tree. There's hate. Yeah, when y'all sell me Save America, and I'm like, save it from who? Because the rhetoricness that I hear just seems to you making more hate. I heard someone say one time, fight fire with fire. Come on, we got to stop listening to cliches that and repeating them that don't make sense. I've never fought fire with fire. It sounds like it's going to be a bigger fire. I fight fire with something opposite of its substance, of its element substance, like water, or you might get some that foam from an extinguisher. Anything that the compounds of it will differ from the fire. We listen to cliches and listen to and then we grow into these cliches to make it seem like it's the truth. I can't stand hearing stuff like, oh, you know what you do? You know how you can make God laugh? You tell him your plan. Well, that's nothing in the word of God says that because the word of God say people without a vision will perish. That means if you don't have no type of dream or an idea, you're wasting the time. He said, try me. Now I can't speak for everybody else. I've been in situations the only person I could do was call God. And all of a sudden, water is springing up, food is there. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be a fool to try to denounce it. I'm not worried about no views on some. It seems like people showing booties and titties and stuff seems like they get a lot of views. But when you talking about the truth, schooling, we've been talking about charters. Charters gives the rights for police to do these stops, but it doesn't say nothing about murdering. These charters don't say nothing about killing people for a basic traffic routine. This awesome. This we was getting blacks was getting killed regardless, but now this is we got cameras and stuff, and you know it's a shame when you got certain police officers turning it off. Then you want to talk about a code of code of honor or whatever. What that has to do? You committing murder and you think that I'm supposed to just let you be able to kill my family members and friends and stuff, and I'm gonna let the court of law take his hand. You didn't think like that. Some of these people think eye for an eye, but they don't want us to think like that. They want us to think turn the other cheek while they're thinking eye for an eye. I'm trying to wonder. You know, I listen to people like Redneck Pimp and Carl Loomis up there, and I listen to these guys and stuff, and they talk with me as Roy, you're an American, we're American. And then they can't understand why they can have certain things and we can't. They say, well, you should be able to have this. You can have a gun. We have the freedom right to have guns. Yeah. Yeah. You would think that. We can't even reach for something that looks like it's a cell phone and they thinking it's a gun. I'm like, what part of the US or any part in the world where a cell phone looks like a gun? You got little kids being shot by the police with a toy gun. You think that we're going to police pull over us, and we've been knowing forever that the police coming in 2017, 600 traffic stop murders. You can look it up yourself. 600. Now, you think I don't have the fears? You just heard me talking with my son. When he got in trouble, first thing I was like, Lord, thank you for not letting them kill my son. Because I empathize with a lot of my friends whose sons has been murdered. And the press can't press everything. You seen 600, you ain't heard 600 different murders. And you wonder why we isn't more of an uproar. You know, what more can we do? I want everyone to think, and you look at it for yourself. How can we have 600 murders for basic traffic stops in America? It seems like we've had more deaths from traffic stops than they have in a war in with this country fighting another country. Hey, I'm out of here. Miss Uniqueness. I'm gonna talk to you later, sugar.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all
Hey,
tap in.
is this thing on? Can you hear me?